What's up, everyone? It's Kadi with Money Vesting. So get ready for another very important week. In fact, we are kick-starting with the earnings season. Last week, of course, on Friday, we did have a lot of banks reporting earnings, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi, and all of them absolutely knocked it out of the park when it comes to earnings, beat on revenue, beat on EPS, record revenue, and increasing net interest income because of the higher interest rates and a very much ballooning deposit base that we learned about. So in the upcoming earnings, not only do we have tech, we've got some healthcare, we got some banks, we got a sprinkled in everything. And in this video, I'm going to break down what to look forward to from both an economic and earnings calendar standpoint. From a technical standpoint, we'll be diving into some of the critical levels to pay attention to. As always, if you enjoy this video, find it helpful, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us for the first time. The link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. And there is a 16% annual discount available till the end of this month. Link's going to be down below. All buy and sell alerts included, including the options alerts, trade ideas, and not to mention all the member benefits, including private videos as well. So links are going to be down below. And this right here is going to be that economic calendar. We don't have a lot of stuff coming out. A lot of it is going to be focused on the housing market and a little bit on the economy. So Empire State Manufacturing Index, as well as the Housing Market Index on Monday. That's going to be around 8:30, 10 a.m. Eastern, respectively. We got the housing starts and the permits coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We got the MBA mortgage applications, which obviously come out weekly. The Beige Book, which doesn't come out weekly, comes out every, I think, 8 times a year or 9 times a year. And that's going to be very important for the market because it's going to pretty much tell us a little bit different views and perspective on the economy with respect to inflation, business, inventory, a lot of things, unemployment, all those things are going to be included by the 8 or 9, I think there are, the Federal Reserve banks in the U.S. We got jobless claims, of course, on Thursday, Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, existing home sales, and some of the leading indicators. And then finally, we got the PMI Composite Flash coming out on Friday, April 21st. So very much focused on the housing market and the economy as well. But that's not really where the focus is going to be. The focus is going to be on this because this is what's really important. Earnings. I've already done videos on ASML. I've done videos on Tesla. I've done videos on Netflix. I've done videos on Lam Research. And I've done videos on TSMC. So already 4 or 5 companies are already off the list here with respect to earnings. So go watch them if you haven't already. And of course, in the upcoming weeks, I will be talking about the big tech. We'll be talking about, fintech. We'll be talking about a lot of different companies when they report earnings. But coming up Tuesday, we've got, first of all, Monday, we've got Charles Schwab, right? They are reporting they've definitely been under a lot of pressure with respect to the banking crisis. We've got State Street, we got Pinnacle Financial Partners, we got First Bank. So a lot of banks are reporting up on Monday. And of course, on Tuesday, we've got Goldman Sachs before the markets open. We've also got Bank of America before the markets open. So that's another one of those big 4. So Citi, JP, and Wells Fargo all reported some great numbers. So I have no doubt in my mind that Bank of America is not going to report great numbers because I personally believe it's going to knock it out of the park, just like the other 3 did. Johnson & Johnson before the bell as well. We got Lockheed Martin, one of the biggest defense companies. They've been charging higher all-time highs around those levels. So Lockheed Martin's due pre-bell. And we also got BNY Mellon reporting on the very same day. That's going to be before the markets open. After the bell, the first FANG stock, we got Netflix. Very much interested in that ad-supported tier. I did a video on this earlier, so go watch that if you haven't already. United Airlines, Intuitive Surgical, I've also done a video on them very recently, so you can watch that as well. And that's pretty much it. And then Wednesday. Wednesday is the big day that everybody's waiting for because we do, of course, have Tesla post-market. They're going to be reporting for the first quarter 23 with all these price cuts. All eyes and ears are going to be on the margins and the guidance for the company and any type of insight we can get on the level of demand from CEO Elon Musk is going to be very important. That's really what's going to move the stock. ASML before the bell, along with Morgan Stanley, US Bancorp, Baker Hughes, Abbott, NASDAQ, and Ally all reporting pre-market with Lam Research, Discover. We got Alcoa and IBM also reporting on the very same day, but after the markets close. And then finally on Thursday, we've got TSMC and American Express. So we do have 2 largest credit networks reporting, so American Express and Discover. I think we got Visa and MasterCard later in the upcoming weeks. And of course, we got lots of chip companies. We got ASML, Lam Research, Taiwan Semiconductor. So a lot of them are more manufacturers / equipment providers. And then, of course, one of the first FANG stocks in streaming companies, Netflix, is going to give us some more insight into ad-supported tier advertising as well. And then not to mention Tesla, the biggest electric vehicle company in the world right now, and of course some other big banks. So it's going to be quite an interesting week. And of course we got Procter & Gamble on Friday pre-bell. Now going over to the technicals for S&P 500 here. As you guys already know from my previous videos, we are sitting inside this bear camp. There's been a lot of tug of war pretty much, and there's a lot of push and pull between 41 and 4200 for the S&P 500. So you can see that on Friday, we did see a lot of volatility, a lot of momentum back and forth, pretty much closed right in the middle with a lot of indecision, doji candle. So buyers and sellers not able to fully take control. We were just not really going anywhere. It was a very neutral day. So in the upcoming weeks, it's going to get more and more interesting. Which side do we actually end up at? Are we going to see a breakout past 4,200 or a rejection just like we have seen before 3 times in the past? Could be argued even 4 times in the past. And are we going to sell right back down closer to 4,000 or even as low as 3,800? So those right there are going to be some levels to pay attention to. And right now, S&P is still inside this bear camp and the resistance at 4,200. For us to make new highs, it's only 4,200 standing in our way. So if the buyers and bulls can kind of step it up a little bit with a lot of liquidity, driving prices higher on great earnings, it's possible in my opinion that we do see a break past 4,200 and get up to the next target. It's going to be 4330, 4,300 on the S&P. The NASDAQ in a very similar situation, so no doubt it's inside this bear camp, inside this red rectangle, where resistance is going to be 12,280 points. Again, we've gotten rejected here once, twice, 3 times for the NASDAQ, and the next target is going to be 13,215 for the NASDAQ. So that's right there is going to be that next level to watch. Resistance, like I said, is going to be roughly around 12,300. And that's the bear camp where we have previously gone rejected. And if we do end up selling off, if we do get rejected here, support level is going to stay roughly around 11,500 to as low as 11,000 points. So that's going to be the update for the markets. Lots of earnings and lots of economic data coming out. The Fed meeting is not that far off. We've got the Fed meeting, FOMC meeting on May 2nd, or actually May 3rd. May 2nd is when it actually starts. May 3rd is the actual interest rate decision. And of course, not to mention lots of critical levels being breached here with Apple, Amazon, Apple, all of them kind of hitting that resistance level. Nvidia also being overbought, AMD hitting that resistance level, Google also hitting that resistance level is going to get really interesting really fast. Considering that all these stocks, underlying stocks, because the market's very much been concentrated, right? So we learned about how the top 20 largest stocks in the S&P 500 pretty much combined almost gained $2 trillion in market value since the start of this year. So it's not a broad-based rally. I think we can all agree that this has mostly been on the back of tech. Tech's been the one that's actually leading this rally to the upside. So if they start to lose some steam, we definitely need to be aware of that, because if they start pulling back, the entire market's going to start to pull back. And right now, we're definitely approaching that resistance level. And of course, a lot of individual stocks are also hitting that resistance at the moment. So we're kind of like knocking on the door. It's really going to come up to the bears and the bulls and what ends up happening, where we actually break to moving forward. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and a quick update on what is coming up for the upcoming week. As always, if you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us for the first time. And the link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. 16% annual discount available still. As always, happy investing, and I'll see you all in the next video.